Vidi ovako, Trio Fantastiku su u ekipi Vuk Dovlica i moja malenkost. Imamo, pošto moj drug Vuletić nije mogao da odvoji 5 dana, pa smo evo tu 3 dana u Šampanji, to jest on 2 dana jer je radio vinske liste čovek. Onda smo danas bukvalno zbuđili po našem ono rečeno 5 vinarija, tako da ćemo danas Šampanju da obiđemo i krećemo iz Larmandije Bernijeja. Ja ću se truditi da svih 5 onako snimimo, pa da nekako napravimo neki prilog za ove naše trekere. I da, što bi rekli junaci, to danas onako lagano krenemo. Spremni smo, sinoć smo imali, ja i Dovlica, ozbiljno zagrevanje. Zagrejali smo pale, tako da, evo, a Vuk će vrlo brzo da se zagreje. I samo je pitanje od kada ćemo krenemo da pljuckamo, od kada ćemo da degustiramo i ostalo sve. Idemo se javimo Arturu. U stvari ne znam ko će nas sačeka u Larmandije Berniju, ali tu smo, stigli smo i pratimo dalju situaciju. Idemo.
Someone's driving. Sometimes it's old, it's not popping so nicely, so we see. Allez. Voilà, ici. On va se laver. Well, I don't know where the bidule, but sometimes when it gets a bit old, the bidule gets sticky.
89.
88.
88.
So that's why when I remove the cap, the bidule takes few seconds to come out after.
88 or 90?
1998.
1998, 98, da.
Rekao odmah, 98.
So give a bit of air on because it was not disgorged. Donc, ouais, c'est ça, 98. 98. And you have city in front because it's Cramant. That's what we write. So each bottle of Larmandie Bernier that you may have in your restaurants or at your home, they should be laser marked like this. So you can always know the base wine and when it was disgorged. Alors, Vieille Ligne du Levant, 2015 vintage. So that's our last single Ernst cuvée. We are in the village of Cramant, Grand Cru, top north of the Côte des Blancs. And so, at the end of 15, so next year we are going to release the 16. But for this wine, we always try to have 10 years of age.
What is the age of the vineyards for the vineyard of the wine?
Alors here, half is 80, and the other, a bit more than 80 actually, and the other half is a bit more than 60. But since 18, we take out the 80 plus something, 84 I think. 84 because it was about too old, and the idea is also that we wanted to replant so that when the 61 will be too old also, like 90, at least the other one will be 30 something, so we don't have two young vines to keep doing this cuvée. That's a bet for future, maybe in 30 years we won't do this wine anymore. At least we try to preserve the two. Because what is a bit, how can I say that, frustrating, is that when you look at the 80 years old, 85 years old vineyard, of course there is wood stock in the plants that can live, I think, for 150 years. But the problem is that we have too much missing. And in Champagne it's forbidden to have more than, I think it's between 15 or 20% missing. And so at one point you have to take it out because you have too much wood stock missing. Our goal for the 60 will be, we are going to try to never take it out. We want to complant. That was my dad's dream for all the vineyards. But we saw that being organic, complanting, having own vines, there is a lot of competition. Because we have been for 1 year, so then we want again to work on the freshness. But it's something that we want to try.
Very well, the oak in your wines is almost not perceptible.
Alors also because there is like no rules of because I remove one. I don't say, okay, I need 10, 15, whatever percent, no, never. It's just that middle of June when we make the blending, we taste each barrels. And if there is no, what I call the noble taste of oak, if we don't like the oak anymore, I just remove it and order the same. And each time I order a new oak, we make sure that it will go in latitude or longitude. Because it's not too new 500, this year I think it's too new 500. And I will put them in latitude or longitude. 500 liters among 50,000 bottles. It's okay. It's just going all the way here with all this scale.
There still about million bucks.
Yeah, we have basically we have between 4 to 5 years of stock, according to the time of the year. But for us, it's important because okay, it's nice to try to make natural fermentation, to have good taste. But then if you sell your wine too young and you don't give them the time to express themselves, you ruin everything. So latitude, longitude, basically they are staying between 2 to 3 years. Now we are selling 21 and 22. And the vintage, we are between 5 to 10 years. So that's why. And we have 9 vintage of one wine. It's take room. But that's the strength of Champagne. It's because of the disgorgement, which can just sell the wine to you ready to be drink. So that basically you almost don't have to do the effort of keeping the wine, compared to other regions where they sell you the wine like after, as soon as it's bottled, and then you have to wait 5 years.
From 10 or 15.
Yeah, if you import to Italian one like a Barolo, for example. But now that's something
Here everything is disgorged, or
no. Basically, all what have a precise date like this, it's disgorged. So that's almost all what is in the center room because that's where we go the most. But after, no, nothing is disgorged after. After you just have the 2 years, so you have the years of harvest and the year of bottling because we bottled in July the year after. But no, everything is still with the crown cap here. There is the light here. You see? So that's the magnum of longitude 23, 24. So vintage base 23. But now we are step by step, we are buying more and more Giro palette. So that now we are bottling directly into the Giro palette. Because until now we have one people every day. She's transferring 1,000 bottles, 500 and 500, from the wood palette to the metal palette. Compared to now, if I want to take the wine, withdraw the wine, I just have to take it from here and go to the region. And also you have less risk of taste, cocktails and everything when you have metal.
yes, yeah,
What we do by hand is much better. Because we don't make any transvasage. Feeling like, yeah, no, because in Champagne, after magnums, if you want, you can make all the process in magnums or bottles and then transfer. But for me, we lose energy, part of the wine. So we say if we do Jeroboam and Mathusalem, we do it fully. So we bottle, and then we withdraw, and then we discount them.
But it's very rare to do that.
Yes, that's why I say it, because a lot of people are transferring it.
Jer oni sve samo boce i magnume rade normalno, a sve manje od boce, ono hal bottle i to, i više od magnuma, samo pune iz normalnih boca, razumiješ?
Da, jasno.
To je dozvoljeno.
Da.
I oni su, recimo, ovo neće to da radi, radi ono šesticu radi ručno.
So we are doing them, and then we'll do the other one. Then they don't have crown cap for that, so they are made with the crown. But what I prefer here is what is behind, is the choke. Because basically we always talk about the choke, and maybe when you will be with Paul, you will talk about choke also, but you never see the choke. Compared to here, we decided to ask the architect to leave the wall empty, so it's not remade or whatever. That's how is the soil. And you can imagine the topsoil is matching the concrete line. So you just have like 50-60 centimeters of topsoil. And that's it.
So, we are here since 1847, and we are more than happy to be here because we are on the top of the hill in Lude. So it is Le Cran, and it is the hill of Choke. Le Grand means the hill of coach. So, the day is finished.
Up close.
So, quick explanation after about our terroir. The fermentation is not finished at all. Every time Mailly is late, Le Cran Chardonnay is a little bit late. So here we don't use any commercial yeast. So we work with the yeast from the area. And the fermentation is long. So it's not so common in Champagne. Champagne normally use commercial yeast. 98% of Champagne use commercial yeast. Because the guy uses big tank and no barrels. So here we never use commercial yeast. Also my grandfather never used because I think he don't have time to add commercial yeast and work like that. So it's like you make brown bread and white bread between one instead white bread. So the fermentation is more long. You have different spice of yeast, eat your sugar to produce alcohol. So it's much more complex. You have to survey, but it's much more complex. After here, we keep the wine on lees for 9 months. That's very important because the lees, it is the last link from the vineyard and your wine. The last solid link. So these links are so important because this link gives you a lot of protein, a lot of monoprotein, and give a lot of information about Mailly or Le Cran. For example, if you rack these barrels tomorrow, you have 2 nice Pinot Noirs. But if you rack them in May, next May, you have 2 nice expressions of Mailly and Le Cran, and you forget the Pinot Noir. So that's our goal, to make terroir wine. And for that, the lees, aging on lees are so important. And again, unfortunately, not a lot of people do that in Champagne. Even the best brand like Krug for the marketing is not on Instagram.
No. This is just to have.
The Krug racks the barrels in October. So the wine passes only 1 month in barrels. That's it. That's stupid for me. That's not normal. And it's not the tradition. Just winemaker ID does that. So here we respect the tradition. That's very important to keep the lees, to give maximum of protein to your wine, maximum of complexity, and a kind of austerity from your vineyard. So we rack each barrel from this crop every time by gravity, and we split the clear wine, the trouble wine, and the sediments. Because after we don't use any filtration at the recipes.
Super.
Yeah. So for you saw this brand, so it's not the good one. This is a brand from cooperative. So you know the system in cooperative, you are giving your grapes and you are having back really balls.
We were a little bit confused to find you, so...
Yeah. I didn't...
well, we succeed.
And so, this, François, was my grandfather. And my father did this brand because he were doing the vineyard, but he didn't have any skills for doing wines, and he didn't have the building for doing that. So he was in cooperative, but he was doing all the vineyard in organic without certification. So he was organic, but without the label. And I was curious to know if you can see a difference with we can say healthy grape if you compare with classic grapes. So I always wanted to do my own brand and my own champagne. So the thing is, it's very, very difficult because we need to invest a lot. But I was lucky because Girard, it's the family name from my father, and Bonnet is the family name from my mother. Both has 6 hectares. Girard, Le Mesnil-sur-Oger, Vertu, and Bonnet, it's Oger and Vertu. So I asked if it was possible to mix the 2 domains, to do one big, and to start the story of the brand Girard Bonnet. And so they said yes, so it's why you can see both names.
and I was very lucky because the two domain they are one grower since 2 generations, so I have a lot of old vines and a beautiful place.
Super.
So I don't know if you have any question about the story.
We drank your wine yesterday evening. But they didn't produce any wine as their own winery before.
Bonnet was a famous winery in the 18th, but the thing is they have a, we can say, generation problem, and they stop and they give like a rent to Charlotte-Sick for doing Blanc des Millénaires for 25 years. And when the 25 years was done, I asked if it was possible to take back the vineyard. So they stopped, and they are doing again with me. So it's why they were also happy when I said to them that I would create a label with the name on it also.
And since when do you do? 2018.
Yeah, 2018. So it's quite young.
Yeah, young.
So it's in the historical part of Le Mesnil-sur-Oger, and what is very interesting on this plot, you have this kind of soil. This kind of soil is called colluvium. Colluvium, it's a lot of piece of chalk everywhere on the soil. So the roots can go from 80 centimeters to 4 meters. So you don't have any hydric stress, you don't have any competition with the grass, and so you can really have the perfect maturity until the end. When you have short soil like this, it can be you can lose acidity very fast when you have a hot vintage like 22. This type of soil, you can really have this cleanest, very clean, very delicate, the maturity. And so I wanted to do this because for me, you really have the best minerality possible. This one, it's 1 year in barrel and stainless steel barrel. Maybe you saw in the cellar the stainless steel barrel. So it's 70% barrel and 40% stainless steel barrel. 1 year, and after it's like 53 months only, and 1 gram. Only this village. So Le Mesnil-sur-Oger is very. Did you taste already Salon? Like the brand, yeah. Very close, very shy, very intense, and it's what I wanted to do on this one. But it's so we can say close that I'm only using barrel, so only barrels and only food. In this one, you have 70% of base 22 and 30% of the biggest food with 18, 19, 20, and 21 inside. So this one will give you, with this one we are more in the gastronomic way because it's more full, but I really like it because the Mesnil is so salty that you can really do a big aging, it's still fresh.
I like.
I think this one you took.
We drink yes last night, yeah.
So now you are on chalky soil. So chalky soil, you are losing, we can say, the juicy taste, and you are having more powerful, intense wine. It's 50% from Mesnil and 50% from Oger. Oger, it's very juicy, it's very exotic fruits, and Le Mesnil is very cold, aromatic, very, very, we can say, in French we say austère. Yeah, and it's 60% in barrel and 40% in stainless steel, so the opposite. And it's 1.5 grams. I also add a little bit of Voix, so it's this way. Vertu, before it was only Pinot Noir. Why? Because it was clay, this soil. But 30 years ago, big houses gave more money if it was Chardonnay than Pinot Noir. So people just stopped doing Pinot Noir and they did shallow. It's why.
No, we want to taste
We
it.
can taste the new wine.
How do you pronounce the winery? Vansay?
Vansay?
Yeah, it's our family name.
What is Zabani? What is the second name? It's
Sorry?
second surname. We say Zabani.
Zabarino, it's mine. It's my name.
It's your name.
Yeah, it's my name. It's Italian.
Because it's not sound French, you know.
No,
It's,
voilà.
yeah.
No, it's Italian.
Where are you from Italy?
In Torino.
Torino. I back from Torino 10 days ago.
Oh yeah?
I was in the Bra. We are going to Piemonte. In Bra village, you know, was this cheese festival, you know, which Slow Food Academy make organization.
Yeah.
We go visit Paolo Scavino, and 2 days we are staying in Torino.
Very good.
After that, yeah, it was very good. Very
I'm
good.
afraid we don't have too many family remaining in Italy at the moment. My family moved during the 30s. Yeah, a bit before, during the 20s. Yeah, they were. Comment tu dis? Sorry, my English.
No.
But to escape fascism. Voilà.
Yeah.
So they move north to France for 15 years after meeting fascism again. So then they move south of France. Long story. Voilà, so we begin with a first cuvée called Interlude. So it's not the very first on the range, but I'd like to begin with this one because it's the younger wine. So Interlude, it's literally a pause, an interlude onto our range. It's always a one-shot cuvée under the name Interlude, but different editions. This one, so it's the number 4. Voilà. So it's a base wine 2022. The terroir used to make it is a plot we have in Chouilly, so Chouilly Grand Cru. So Chouilly, it's quite a large village of Grand Cru, and you have 2 main zones, let's say, and we are located just right here. So it's at the very entrance of Épernay. Actually, if you're following this road, you enter into the Avenue de Champagne, for you to picture. So it's facing north. And it's quite one of the riper plot we own. The underground is quite deep. We have about 1 meter and 20 centimeters before to reach the chalk. So when it comes to that vintage, 2022, it was quite a warm year, very sunny, very intense, let's say, and we reach certain alcohol content quite high, you know. So it's something that we noticed the past years. I think you heard that a lot in vineyards and even in Champagne, even if we are the northern vineyard in France. And so in Champagne, we do 2 fermentations. You know, there's another one happening in the bottle that automatically increase the total alcohol degree of 1.2 degree. Here, we use a different technique. We use the must of the harvest on top of the wines, les vins clairs of the year before, to prepare our mixture, our liqueur de tirage, bottling liqueur, to make the second fermentation into the bottle. When you do that, you do not gain any alcohol content. So it's a solution that allowed us to continue to follow the fruit, and so to do not pick maybe too early, to let the fruit get mature and being the loyal image of the vintage. And so we apply that technique on that cuvée. Voilà. So we have a proper cuvée always made like this that we're going to taste after. It's called Endogène. It's the very first release, and so the ancient road to go to Chalon, which used to be one of the main cities around. So this one is from Le Mesnil. It exists also Chemin de Chalon elsewhere, in Avis and in Cluny. Oh, pardon. And then it enters in fermentation. At this time of the year, the fermentation almost done. Then after we will let the wine stage for an entire year minimum. Some cuvées now are aged longer. All the single vineyards cuvée collection, they are aged 2 years.
How is the temperature temperature here for malolactic is a little bit too cold?
No.
No?
No, the malolactic is done. Yeah.
It's not
So
too cold.
naturally. No, it's not too cold.